I fired up Godot, created a new project and named it Gravity Runner. After an eternity, it finally decided to work. And I was greeted by nothing. Made a node 2D and renamed it to main game. And I saved it and moved on. In another scene I added a character body 2D. Then I gave it a collision shape 2D and a sprite 2D. Which was, wait for it, plain white square.
You serious?
In physics process, I checked if player was on the ground. If not, gravity should pull it down. I add a node 2D in scene, name it ground and gave it a static body 2D and a collision shape 2D. Put it under the player and run the game again. Now we are getting somewhere. I updated the script. Instead of just adding some force, I flipped the gravity, ran the game and the player yeeted itself off the screen. I duplicated ground, called it ceiling and placed it at top of the screen. Now gravity flipping actually works. I created another empty scene. Added an area 2D, called it enemy and gave it a collision shape 2D and sprite 2D just like the player, but this time I made it red because red equals danger, obviously. Then I connected the area entered signal to a script that closes the game when the player collides with it. Then I added enemy to scene, placed it above the player and ran the game. I decided it was time for the enemy to actually do something. So I added a speed variable. In physics process, I wrote position.x plus equal speed times delta. Then I copied a few enemy nodes, placed them around the scene and hit run. Instant crash every single time. After what felt like an eternity of debugging, I realized the issue was the enemy's body entered signal was detecting everything, including ground and ceiling. To fix this, I added player to a group called player, then modified the script to only check for the collisions with objects in the player group. I wanted to make enemy spawning system. So I added two markers to the nodes of a screen, one at the top and one at the bottom. Then I put them inside the node called spawners. Then I added a script to scene with a spawn function that randomly spawns enemies at those markers. After writing what looked like a cursed spell in the script, I ran the game, expecting flawless execution. Instead, 500 errors. None of them made sense, nothing was spawning correctly. The game refused to be nice, so naturally I did what every game dev does. Enemies now spawn at the top or bottom. Move towards the player and most importantly, don't instantly break the game. I opened a sprite and got to work. Meet player, a 16x16 white square but now with green eyes, a smiling mouse and a black outline. Instant personality boost. Meet the enemy, a red triangle, angry eyebrows and a frowning mouse. Because of course, enemies must look angry. Then, to make everything feel more dynamic, I added a parallax 2D for both ground and ceiling. Enable repeated auto scroll so it looks like the ground is moving. I gave player an audio stream player and opened chiptune to create a jump sound effect. Wrote a tiny script so it's play when the player jumps. And I made enemies get faster over time. Every time an enemy spawns, its speed increases by 0.01. Also made the parallax scroll speed increase over time to match the intensity. I added a canvas layer to the scene. After that I created a control node to hold a label to show the player's score. After a little trial and error with positioning and resizing, I got it to look just right. Then in the script I created a score variable that increases by 1 every time an enemy spawns. I also made sure the label updates in real time with the score. But I wasn't done. I thought why not give the player some points for jumping too. So I added a point whenever the player changes gravity. Now the score increases when the player jumps. I designed a yellow pixel art ring in a sprite, created new scene for it and made it similar to the enemy. Then I added another spawner to make the ring appear randomly in the middle of the screen after a certain amount of time. The default one was boring, so I added a new one and applied it to the score display. Now it actually looks nice. We found the perfect retro style track, Boss Time by David Renda. I made it autoload as a scene so it could play across menu and the game. I created a new canvas layer and named it Game Over. Added a black color rect to cover the screen and placed 2 buttons for it. Added a label to display the player's score, and in the script I coded it when the player dies, the game over screen appears. I designed a black and white mosaic pattern background, and also I gave the player a redesign. Now it's blue with yellow eyes and a mouse for extra contrast. And in the end, I designed a simple start menu, added a mute button for the background music, and hooked up everything with scripts. Finally, I finished the game and uploaded it to itch.io. The end of development. Maybe I will update it later, but for now it's done.